Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Smoke and Ice. We've made it to 2026, and I'm so excited for today. I really am. And we're still in the festive mood. It's okay. We brought a little bit of 2025 into 26, but that's what we do because we're different. Why not?
Yeah.
But tonight's episode is one where you realize that the voice you thought you knew has so much more depth, so much more to it, and is awesome all the time. All the time.
All the time. It's not just hits, it's behind the scenes stuff. Yo, it's during a golden era. It's still going on today. I'm enamored. I'm excited. She's excited about the Christmas stuff. I'm happy just to have our guest. We're good.
I'm excited about the guest too. We're going to talk about the artistry, the tourism, and everything that people don't know. We're going to bring it to you today.
From the Harlem beginnings to the hip hop to
We're going to get into it, guys.
We're going to get into it.
I promise you. Look, and I'm losing my head. My head is a little bit big. I'm sorry. And I'm not ashamed of it because I still look good. So that's what we're going to do.
Smoke and Ice begins now.
Smoke and ice, twice as nice. I'm your vice. Smoke and ice.
Welcome to Smoke and Ice with Kelly and Wayne. This is the podcast where you're not only informed, but entertained. Sit back, relax, and remember, where there's smoke, there's fire. And you can't chill without ice. Now, here are your hosts, Kelly Allen and Wayne McCullers.
Smoke and ice, twice as nice. Smoke and ice.
Today's guest is a Harlem-bred vocalist. Amazing. Anything that you think that you've heard that you don't know, her voice was on it. Who you don't know whose voice was on it, her voice was on it. Let me fix that. Because I want to make sure I got it right and forever have it right. Right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Well, listen, a lot of people know the classics. I mean, hell, I know the classics. But they don't know the background, the hooks, the singing, the mix of R&B and hip hop. They don't know that story, and we're going to get that for you today.
And not only that, they went from there to being even greater, having their own solo career. So
True that.
please help us welcome Miss Alyson Willams. Hey.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Wayne. It's my honor to be here. It's been a long time coming.
Yes,
And
it
I'm
has.
glad to finally be here.
Listen, I've been begging for her to be here since the inception of Smoke and Ice, guys. So I am so excited that she is finally here.
Well, I was told a story that I was actually scheduled to be your first female artist.
Yes.
And I was honored to have that post, but scheduling got in the way and what have you. So my dear sister, Sylva Logan Sharp, came on in and did what she does. But I'm here now.
Yes, well, good.
And happy.
Listen, and it's never late.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's never late.
Y'all see me smiling through the whole interview. Don't pay no attention to me. I'm good. I'm good. If she takes all the questions, I'm just staring.
He's been enamored since you walked in the room, guys.
True.
Yes. So, well, we're going to start with our old Smoke and Ice fashion with the cigar and the bourbon. So, what do we have today?
So the cigar is, I may pronounce this right, Mica Rustica?
Yes.
Something like that?
Yeah. Joker Smoker, who has provided the cigars for us. They're always great. Anyone who's in the Raleigh area, they have 2 locations. We're going to post those up there for you. And make sure that you stop in. They're knowledgeable, great staff, amazing people to be around, and great
Ali,
prices.
Appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you, Ali.
Shout out to Ali.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So we're going to start smoking first. We're going to start drinking. I think maybe we should.
You know what? What would you like to do?
I'd like to do both. That's That is my cigar and brown liquor experience, is that they go together. So we can light or we can pour, but I am a guest, so you
and we're
take
definitely
the
going to
reins.
pour for you. So today's
Yes.
bourbon is a Japanese bourbon, Toki Suntory whiskey, Japanese whiskey, and I believe I've had this one before, but a long, long time ago. So we're all going to experience this one
Together.
Would you like to pour for us all, or is
I
that too
sure
far?
would.
I don't mind pouring if need
Long
to.
arms come in handy, so
Well,
let's do it.
And we can make it
I
easy
see. That's
for
you
you.
know what. That's why I love long arms. That's what I'm talking about right there. Tell me when, dear.
When, dear.
I love it.
Tell me when.
Oh, right there's fine. Thank you.
Oh, I got you a full drink over there.
You
didn't I?
did. You did. But like we said, we have we're responsible here at Smoking Ice. So
What's the slogan? Here at Smoking Ice, we do not promote drinking and driving, so please be responsible. So if you're going to drink, please stay at home. If you're going to drive, please get an Uber. And we'll salute you to that. Thank you. Ready?
cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to Smoking Ice.
Thank you.
Season 2, episode 1.
Yes, with the
Happy New
best.
Year to
Happy
you.
New Year.
Oh. I mean, I taste some little smokiness to it. What you think?
A little, but I'm getting
A frowny face?
no.
Sure. Man, that would look
Yeah,
like
I always
me.
talk about my
Something, right?
face. See, I told y'all I can't do nothing right. No, I get a little. No, it's almost like a little sake back. Like, have you ever had sake?
I have.
Do you not get that little bit like a little rice, little?
For me, I don't. I get more of the smokiness. What about you? Now, I will say, if it's something that you don't like, we can always switch.
No. I like the taste. It is a lot lighter, which I expected it to be. It had a more of an amber than a dark cognac color to it. So it is light. I do like it because sometimes whiskeys and bourbons and things like that can be strong for me, as I am a vodka drinker. Not necessarily because I don't like. I like brown liquor and bourbons and whiskeys and so on and so forth when and cognacs when I'm doing the cigar thing. That's when they really work for me. You know what I'm saying? But my usually go-to drink will either be champagne or be vodka.
Okay.
And so this is very good though. It's really nice.
So we'll definitely have to do a brunch where we get this champagne and stuff in there. All right, so we are getting ready to light up and see if this Nika Rustica matches today's choice.
Okay.
It's got a nice aroma.
It does. It does. So
All right.
there is.
You know, smoking cigars and pool are two favorite things of mine. I don't play pool at all, but I look good doing it.
You know what?
As I feel I do with the cigar.
I used to think I played pool well, but
You don't have to. You just have to look
good doing it, right?
Bend over.
Well, you know what? Since we here, what got you into cigars?
It was something, my dad was a cigar smoker. My grandfather, Grandpa smoked a cigar until it was just something that was this short in his mouth. But he smoked cigars, so it was something that I was always around. My father, in an attempt to quit smoking, which he did when he was a trumpet player. My father was a jazz trumpet player. His name was Bobby Booker, and he had a 21-piece swing band, and they were the premier society band of Harlem and the tri-state area in New York, where I'm from, Harlem. For over 25 or 30 years as I was coming up. And they said, Booker, his name was Bobby Booker, if you want to, this is what the doctors on Booker, if you want to continue blowing your horn, you will stop smoking. And that day,
You stop.
he stopped. But what he did was he went to Tipperellos, which if anybody doesn't know what a Tipperello is, it's kind of like a slim cigarette with cigar in that already has a tip, a filtered tip, plastic tip on it. So he would do that, and then soon he just started chewing on the tip or chewing on a cigar because he didn't want to smoke it, but he needed that cessation of the tobacco or whatever the case may be. But he did stop because playing his horn was just as important as breathing, and the only other thing he loved more than that was me.
Right. There you go.
Amazing.
I'll drink to that.
Hey,
Yes.
to Bobby Booker.
To Bobby
So
Booker.
that's what got me into knowing that once I got to a certain age, I came up in an era where apparently this was part of parenting. When you got to be 16 years old, you asked for permission to smoke.
Right.
That's what you did. I'm gonna ask my mother for permission to smoke because your friends were smoking. And I asked my mother. So, the cigarette thing was what it was, but because we thought it was cool, we thought it was sexy, and we thought it was all the things that advertising made it out to be.
Right.
But I wanted to know about cigars because I like process-based activities, and the whole cutting and snipping and slow burning and sipping cognac or whatever your beverage of choice is. To me, that allows you to enjoy the aroma of a good cigar, the taste and the notes of a fine libation. So I enjoy that.
Right.
And so when I found a crew of people that kind of knew what that was and appreciated it, they jumped me in.
Right.
And then after that, I was hooked on it because of the way it brings people together,
Right.
the way it, like I said, it's a chill factor involved with it and stuff like that. So that's what got me into it.
Nice.
Okay, nice.
I like smoking with my brother Nate Lucas up there in Harlem and all the folks over at the Red Rooster or wherever we choose to hold court.
Right.
Nice. So what do you think about this one? Or is this one of your go-tos, or what is your go-to?
What I know is that I'm a lightweight. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have to have a big giant stogie, and I don't like a real smell. I like the aroma of this because I do like the smell of cigar smoke, but I don't like it when it's overpowering.
Right.
And a nice fresh cigar, you know what I'm saying? I discovered that I like something that is dipped in chocolate and cognac, and I think it's something like, I can't remember the name of it. Might be Princess, it might be, I don't know, it's something. But I know how to find it by asking for what I like. And I can't remember what the brand on the band was, but when I find that, that's for me what I like now. Because as a singer, you remember, I'm not really trying to have smoke go down my throat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I find that to be nice and calm and easy and tasty and tasteful.
So in comparison to that one, how do you feel about this one?
I think it's very nice. I think it's nice and light for it not to have those other qualities of the cognac and the chocolate. It's really nice. It really is nice, and I'm not just saying that because I'm on camera.
And we love honest opinions, so because I'm quick to say I don't like this one.
And if I didn't, I would say
Certainly
it's
so.
lovely.
And I have to agree, it is light.
Smooth.
It is very light, and I like that. I'm still, if we're talking about this size, that fat bottom Betty that we did that time is still one of my favorites because it just was a little bit sweet, but this is light, so it's still good.
No, this is light for me. I can't speak to nobody else for me. This is light, it's smooth, but for me, I'm not getting like a full taste of it. You know what I mean? So, you like fat bottom Betties, I like Javas. So, I mean, I'll definitely smoke it again, but it's just, I don't get
Now,
it.
is a Java just a more full-bodied cigar, or does it actually have something to do with coffee? Because when you say Java to me, I'm thinking notes of coffee.
Right. No, so it's a full body cigar. So Java is by
Drew Estates.
Drew Estates. So they do a red, a Maduro, a latte, a vanilla. And one thing I love about them is their cigars are always nice and soft.
Okay.
Yeah, he's always, when he does it, this one's a little bit
That's
firm.
what- yeah, they're always
firm.
nice and soft. So Maduro can't go wrong.
And you know what, guys, I'm enjoying our conversation today because this is the most in-depth we've ever gone into on our cigars and our bourbon. And I'm enjoying this because this is why we began doing what we're doing. This is how we had our conversations and our deep conversations. And this is why we decided to bring it to you. So this is really exciting for me.
Well, it's exciting for me because that's why I thought you brought me on here. So we can talk cigars and bourbon. It's new and it's wonderful.
But we have to talk about you, my darling, because you are the reason why you are here. Because we just had to have you here.
Okay, well, so back in 1961, I was born, and then the rest is history.
Hi, I'm Kelly Allen. Join me each weekday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for Midday Energy Rush on Positive365.net. I'll bring you all your favorite music from every genre and every decade, plus comedy and positive thoughts all in one place. Go to Positive365.net and you won't be disappointed. That's positive365.net. We're positively different.
Positively different. Positive 365.
Thank you for coming back. So now let's get into some real stuff. Please, I know you're from Harlem. Tell us about your background in Harlem.
Well, like you said, I'm born and raised in Harlem, daughter of a jazz trumpet player and band leader, and I got into music at a very early age. It was what was in our home, jazz music, traditional jazz, big band jazz, but also an eclectic mix of all types of music, gospel music, R&B music, R&B of the time, because I'm just a baby, so, hits of the 60s. And so I had a very well-rounded background, but being not an only child, but I have a sister that's 10 years older than me. She was trying to stay as far away from me as possible, so a lot of times it was just me. And she would go to hang out with her friends or her cousins or wherever she could go where she would not have to be responsible for me. That made me grow up very independent, and my parents trusted me, so I could touch the hi-fi. If anybody doesn't know what the hi-fi is, Google it. But we had the long console with the speakers at the end, and inside you lift it up and there'd be a place for your record player. If you don't know what a record player is, Google. And it had a place for the albums and the 45s and a bar and somewhere where you could put your Jet magazine. It was a whole city down in there. And it played music. It had radio and everything in there. So I could touch the hi-fi, which meant I had access to the album collection, and I got to listen to everything from Henry Mancini to Duke Ellington, Ella Fitzgerald, James Brown, Mahalia Jackson, and of course, I had my Jackson 5. At one point we had a hi-fi that had an 8-track player, so we knew we was doing it.
Okay.
We were doing it.
For sure.
So anyway, we had all these modes of music and all these different platforms to play them on, and I was left to my own devices and my imagination where this music would take me, and it was we had a lot of Broadway musical music and soundtracks from movies. So I came up listening and loving the MGM musicals and the big productions and things like that. So I was really ensconced into all types of music, and jazz is my music of choice, although I've made my career as an R&B singer.
Got it.
So, I started singing with my dad's band very early, and while my friends were learning His Eyes on the Sparrow, I was learning the A-Train and the Late Late Show by Dakota Staton and listening to Nancy Wilson and all of that. But I always felt, I was kind of like a nerd. I was what they'd call a geek, because I knew jazz music and classical music and all that sort of stuff, while all my friends, they knew the Jackson 5 and so on and so forth. And when it came to performing, I was a little shy because I knew my voice did not sound like the other people's voices, which seemed to maybe have more wobble and more ad-lib or more, of that whole thing. And jazz singing is, there are turns and twists and bends of notes, but it's straight and melody. Of course, when you're a kid, you don't realize that that's a wonderful thing to have, and it will serve you well as you grow older. But when I was younger, I wanted to sound like everybody else, and I just would. Even my song choices were different. I just was like, let me just shut up, because they laugh at me, or they didn't understand. But I worked it out.
You definitely worked it out. And so many people who come up from that, we talked a little bit about your father, Bobby Booker, earlier, and that how did that, and you talked about it a little bit, but let's expound on it. How did that environment shape your ear, shape your discipline, shape your fearlessness? Because you said you were shy. So how did coming up in that household, how did that help you to shine? I felt covered and nurtured and protected within the household, and because I was 10 years younger than my sister, obviously a oops baby, I ended up with my parents a lot, which meant I hung out with their crowd. I was around grown people the majority of the time if I wasn't in a classroom at school. I was with grown people. My father's friends were Clark Terry and Honey Coles and these other tap dancers and the former Cotton Club dancer girls and the people of that era, Peg Leg Bates, all these
these, Louis Armstrong, all these great musicians, Dizzy Gillespie. I name all the horn players because the horn players stuck with the horn players. And once again, he had a 21-piece swing band. So I was always around people who said, how you doing in school? What are you trying to do? Do you know what you need to do? You need to be disciplined. You need to be this. Here's a couple of dollars. Here's some candy. They rewarded me, and they told me about their history and what they had come through and how I would have to work hard. It wasn't until I was around my peers that I got flack and pushback, because I knew too much. I was saying too much. I thought, oh, you think you cute. Oh, you talk like you white. Oh, I got all of that. I was bullied. I literally was bullied as a kid. But, folks weren't honed in on the damage and the dangers of bullying at that time. But I felt so embraced in my parents' home and by that community, that village that raised me, which were musicians. So when I was old enough, I'd go with my dad everywhere. They used to tell my dad, that's your woman, Booker. That's not your daughter. I was like his mini-me, because I went everywhere with him. So when I was old enough and knew how to pass out the chart books, that's what I did. I was at rehearsal. I learned this music, and I looked at the other female singers that my father would hire, and I aspired to be those beautiful black women who were well dressed and appointed with beautiful jewelry and accessories, and they could sing, and they could, they were just, I just saw that. And so it was something I aspired to be. Like I said, I watched TV. I wasn't allowed to go out and play like with the kids in my neighborhood, because they were the future felons and unwed mothers of America. That's who they were. And I'm not saying that I'm just saying they turned out to be that, because they were not disciplined or given that thing that, to rein it in. You know what I'm saying? I know what happened to these people in their lives. Not all of them, but they certainly had other activities for me. So I either was going somewhere to see a ballet, or I had dance class. I was a product of the Dance State of Harlem, and I've studied under everyone from Alvin Ailey to George Faison to Abdel Salon to, I had a true full dance education and a career, because I went to college on a dance scholarship. So that, combined with the music, it made me think that I was going to be what they call in the industry a triple threat. I would sing, act, and dance. And I had a few people who looked like me that, obviously Dorothy Dandridge had been around for a long time, but your Diane Carrolls and your Lena Hornes and Lola Falanas and people like that. And I could look at these people, Sammy Davis Jr. I could look at, the other artists that had already come up and were well into their careers, and I could aspire to be that, because I knew it was possible. Now, I didn't know they were no longer making musicals, and I didn't know that even if they were little brown-skinned girls like me, had a rough time getting in them. But I knew that that's what I thought I saw myself doing. That if I was an actress, I would obviously sing, and if I sang, then I'd have records. And and if it was singing and having and acting, I'd have to learn how to dance. And so thank goodness we knew that. And so it was all wrapped around a dream of entertainment and being an entertainer. And it was my Harlem dream. When I went outside, sometimes that dream was hard to hold on to, because I came up against a lot of, like I said, pushback. I had too many afternoon, activities. Where you going? How come you always look like you dressed up? How come it was always a question of why, and why do you think they thought I was better, and the whole time I didn't know if I was even good enough. Because I'm a kid, and when we're kids, we want to assimilate what we think is what it's all about.
And not even what you think it's all about, but also you're going with what your parents are saying is good for you. Because they're molding you.
No, but you don't always listen to your parents. No. My mother would look at me and say, now that's a smart ensemble. She had went down to Macy's or Orbach's or, Bergdorf's or Bloomingdale's. I wanted dungarees. Dungarees are jeans, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I wanted dungarees and Super Pro Cats. You know what I'm saying? I thought that's what it was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So we don't always know that, I didn't know she was grooming me to know how to be well dressed and still fashion forward. So we don't listen, to our parents necessarily. We look at what we see and we think that's cool, and so therefore we waste a lot of time on madness.
So
that's funny. I was listening to you actually answer one of the questions I was going to ask you about how did you manage, because from up north, you know, those were hard times in Harlem, Connecticut. You know, it was real rough. So it sounds like your parents kept you from hanging outside, you know, because, you know, a lot of drug dealing and all that, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they kept me away from the wrong element.
From the wrong element.
But even though I had to pay the price.
Right. Okay. All right. Did you ever get tempted to go out and, you know, just want to be out, you know, in that element?
Absolutely. Well, you know, the thing is that element eventually came to me.
Right.
Because there's one thing about the street. The street wants to hang with the athletes, the musicians, the politicians, because they can blend in, because they have the finance to do that, because they make their money in the street. So you can have a politician over here and one of our great athletes over here and our most incredible dope dealer over there. I saw all that. When I came up in Harlem, we walked from 111th Street, where I was raised, to 116th Street. It was a game. We'd stop and watch junkies and see how far they get down and never fall.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We saw all of that. You know what I'm saying? We saw the trueness of it. You know what I'm saying? And what could happen. We saw people that had good jobs or families or whatever the case would be end up sticking a needle in their arm, and a year later, that's where they were. And we saw that. So, you know, it wasn't like that's something that I wanted, but it just came to me. And as I began to, after singing with my dad's band and getting that little education, then I wanted to venture out, and I wanted to sing with people my own age, right? So when my father would give dances on his own, he'd always have a big lineup. He'd have the big band, and he'd have a female blues singer, and he'd have a male blues singer, and he'd have a dancer, and then he'd have a torch singer, someone who sang jazz and then sang the ballads. And then in between, he'd have a young band that would play the more current music, and then he'd have a DJ. You know, and these were the kind of dances you'd go to, and you dress up, and you'd bring your own liquor with you, you know, and then you'd buy a setup. Anybody know what a setup is? Coca-Cola, ginger ale, club soda, maybe some orange juice, and a bucket of ice and cups.
Still do that in Greece.
Right, and you buy a setup, and you could bring your deviled eggs and your chicken wings and your rich crackers, and you'd make a beautiful night and have a whole floor show and the whole bit. And he would do different things in bus rides like that. So this one group he had they were called the Little Dudes, and they rehearsed in the building where he lived. Now my mother and father loved each other immensely, but they never lived together for us growing up. But they were, you know, they were together. And so in the basement, the man who was the super had a grandson who was a drummer, percussionist, whatever the makeup was. It was about a 4 or 5 piece band. They called themselves the Little Dudes, and they had a woman, I think her name was Shirley, who was older than all of them because they were teenagers, but they were incredible. They were an incredible band. Anyway, the woman who was their lead singer got pregnant, and she had to take off. So I saw that as an opportunity. I said, maybe they need a new singer. My father wasn't no more gonna let me go sing with the Little Dudes. The Little Dudes, they were boys. You know, they were like, I'm not putting my 16, 15-year-old daughter in the midst of. But I went and I auditioned, and I learned Shame was my first song that I learned that I was gonna sing as an R&B, you know, radio hit, because I knew they knew it, and they would be rehearsing it with the woman who used to sing with them, and they liked it. So the man who was, like I said, the manager of the building talked to my father, and I guess they must have made a pact, and he said, if anything happens to my daughter, I'll kill you, and all that. You know, they said all the necessary words, and I was able to start singing with the Little Dudes. And so we would do block parties and, you know, parties for private parties and birthday parties and all kinds of things. And there were a couple of clubs we worked up in the Bronx and White Plains and stuff. And that led me to knowing other musicians and other spots down in Harlem. So I got to start working around, and that's what brought me to the place where, like I said, in my audience, it could be everybody. You know what I'm saying? There was everybody from secretaries, teachers, and court stenographers to, like I said, dope dealers and politicians and athletes. And that all of that element. But to answer your question after 5 minutes, what kept me from going down the wrong road was that I was sent out of the house with everything I needed.
Right.
They trusted me, and they knew. You know what I'm saying? We've told her what to do and what not to do. But we've also told her, if you find yourself in any type of compromised situation, you're not to be afraid to come, because we'll have your back.
Right.
So I was, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna mess up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I was lucky I didn't, at least not that they know of. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure I did everything they told me not to do, at least once. But I also was, I think I already had a sense of self to the point where I'm not going to do but so much. I've been a square the whole time. You know, I've been a square the whole time. I was in a lot of situations where, you know, it was jiggy, but I was a square the whole time. It was cool. And I think a lot of the people that I associated with, they knew. And they were like, whatever goes on here, we're going to make sure that she don't get too deep and nobody bothers her or brings anything. They would look out for me because they also had a high hope for me.
It's good to have people like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Even if they were doing dirt, they wasn't gonna let me get dirty, and that was a good thing. So, you know, that's how I came through it.
So, and it sounds like you never felt like this was going to be a hobby. This is something that you were going to do. So, with your classical background, going in with the little dudes,
The little dudes.
was there anything that you felt like you had to unlearn to fit into that genre of music, coming from jazz and coming from everything else?
Yeah, but what I wasn't unlearn. I had to learn on top of. I had to find soul. I had to find my riff. I had to find my wobble. I had to find soul. And what was with me is that I learned to sing. Part of my self-training was impersonating. When we were coming up, we had things like the Ed Sullivan Show and the Calvin. We had variety shows, and one of the people you could see besides a singer, a dancer, a musician, or a magician, or a juggler, or a fire eater was an impersonator, an impressionist, and they'd come on and they would impersonate people. So in my brain, it was saying, I don't know if I'm going to sing or what I'm going to do, but that's another area that I could go into because I could sound like anybody. And so I would be singing in my room with the record player, singing in my brush handle, and my mother would come by and knock on the door, just opens, what you doing? And I'd go, nothing, because I didn't want anybody to see me singing. I did it okay in front of the crowd when he called me up, but, you know, and so she'd say, okay, carry on, and then she'd come back and she'd say, Alyson, let me tell you something. I don't think there's anything wrong with what you're doing. She said, but you have to find your own style, you know, honey. Now, I didn't know what that meant or even where to start, you know what I mean? I was like Dorothy at the top of the yellow brick road. It was like, follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow. I didn't know. How do you find your own style? Shaka Khan wasn't broken. I like that sound. Aretha Franklin was fabulous. You know, Ella was good. So I had to learn to find my own style and be confident in it, that it was as good as everybody else who I thought was so much better. But eventually I did. But like I said, learning. I had to learn how to find soul because I had been so jazz, and I was raised in a Catholic school, Catholic church, so I didn't have gospel. We were hymning and Gregorian chanting, but no, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't that we didn't have that gospel background for me. So I had to learn. And then oddly enough, when I finally did, I'm just going to go a little forward, got with Def Jam Records, and we would be recording, they would tell me, Alyson, you got to let go of some of those THs and what have you, because you speak so properly, because that was a big deal in our house. You had to, my mother was like, you're not going to bring those D's, those, and dems in my house. I worked too hard to send you to school for you to come in here talking like that. Ooh, and it went on for hours. It was like, oh, God. Oh. We didn't get a lot of whoopings, but we got, what do you call intellectual warfare. They could just break you down.
Right.
And if the phone rang, it was like, girl, you'll never believe what she did. And then they would go, you have to tell the aunt. And the aunt, as I was saying, one of the things I had to learn on top of it, you know, was to find my soul and my swag. But by the time I was signed to my first label and was in the studio, they would always complain. Larry Smith and Russell Simmons, they'd be like, listen, Alyson, you have to drop some of those THs, and you're so proper, you know, you speak. And my mother was very adamant about good speech and so on and so forth, which is something, again, that came up later in life, being able to articulate, enunciate, and elocute. You know, so I had to learn on top of it the balance of how to find the balance between my R&B root, my jazz root, and everything else that led to wherever we are.
Well, and since
finding my own style.
And since we're talking about finding her own style, we are going to take us a quick break and let her give us that style, you know?
Okay.
And we're a little bit of holiday, right?
A little
'Cause we
bit of
didn't
holiday.
get you
Well,
before the
listen,
holiday.
you know I'm a theme girl. You know, when I
love
showed
it.
up, I got it. I fell in love with all of this beautifulness, and I brought some of my own little trinkets, and I donated the hats. And thank you, Wayne, for wearing it, because you don't do, you know, holidays. But I'm just saying, that's what you tell me, but I'm saying, must be nice when folks think you're special.
Yes. Well, you know, I did get him in some pajamas, some Christmas pajamas a little while ago.
Wow. We're going to get you yet. We're going to get you yet. As a matter of fact, I'll come back, I'll sing a little something, and I'll join you in a holiday hat.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
All right, listen, I'm excited.
So guess what? Stay right there, because guess what? We're going to have a nice treat for you, and we'll be back with you in just a moment.
Just call my name and I'll come running.
All you Smoke and Ice viewers, I sure hope you enjoy this. Ever had a love that you could call on when you were in trouble? Ever had a love who comes to you on the double? There's no need to look no further. I'm waiting here for you.
Just call my name.
Oh,
Come running.
all you gotta do
Just call my name.
when life's got you feeling low, feeling low, feeling low, feeling low. You never have to fear that I won't have time for you when you worry. If you need me near, just call and I'll be there in a hurry. All you have to do is snap your fingers and I'll appear for you. Just call my name, call my name. Yeah. You know I'm gonna be right there for you if you just call my name. Call my name, yeah, yeah. You're crying all alone. Why are you crying? Yeah. All you've got to do is dial my number and I'm gonna be there before the next teardrop falls.
Just call my name and
Call my name.
come running.
All you gotta do,
Just call my name.
hey, yeah. Come running. You can believe that I will, yes you can. Why are you crying? Don't you know, my baby, don't you know? I'm gonna be there before the next teardrop falls.
Just call my name.
Just call my name, baby. All you gotta do.
Just call my name.
See, nobody can love you like Allie will. No, 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 no. Sometimes I just wanna say, I'll be there. Yeah. Just pick up the phone, boy. You don't have to worry, cause you know I'm home. I'm home, I'm home, I'm home. Listen, Smoke and Ice, I'm gonna tell you something. It doesn't matter where you are. You could be near or you could be far, but it don't matter to me, baby. Oh, call my name. Don't you know I've searched all over. I know there's none like you. Nowhere, 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 nowhere. So glad that I know 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 that I have your love. Hey, if you ever need a friend, I'll be there until the end. You got me, I got you. Yeah. It's been my honor and my pleasure to be here with y'all. Smoke and Ice. Keep sparking something real. Just call my name and I'll come running. Ooh, and I'll come running, yeah, yeah. If you ever need a friend.
That was marvelous.
Thank you.
That was so
that kept me
fantastic.
in by all my holiday festivities. I'm loving it. It could be Christmas all year. Is there a song out there that says Christmas all year long?
Yeah.
Listen, I love it. I love it.
This one right here. So he's got a secret to tell you. Should I tell her? Or you gonna tell it?
Hey, listen. Wait a minute.
You gonna tell it, or am I gonna tell it?
No, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna let you tell it. Ain't nobody doing
He
nothing.
used to write his little love.
Hey, watch your mouth. So anyway,
We'll talk about that after.
so anyway, watch your mouth.
Wait, okay, guys. All right, so we're gonna get back into it. All right, so early hip hop guys, everybody focuses on the rappers, right? But there are vocalists behind those rappers that they make the songs. If you listen to any old school rap, it's the hook, it's the chorus that you remember, right? You don't remember the rap. Well, you might. You know the rap, but it's the chorus that draws you in.
The hook.
It's the hook. That's why they call it hook, because it reels you in. And this one right here is behind some of your favorite songs ever, hip hop songs, everything. Like, before we even get into who you work with, how did that even start? I know you talked a little bit about Def Jam earlier.
Right.
Well, before,
So,
let's just go back. Before there was Def Jam, there always was a Russell Simmons, and he was managing a young man by the name of Curtis Blow. So you had Curtis Blow being managed by Russell Simmons, being produced by Larry Smith. And for any hip hop or shall we say rap aficionados, you know what that whole situation was before Def Jam was actually brought into existence. And they were making great music. Curtis was then and still is the king of rap. Rap gave birth to hip hop, which not only changed the music game, but created its own culture. And here we are with it today. However, it was a different game in terms of what the content was. You know, we talked about who we were, what we were, and how we wanted to try to come up. Whereas now we have more sensationalism of drugs, sexual imagery, sexualization is what I'm trying to say. And I know that. And crime and street and killing and every story can't be rainbows and lollipops. I get it, and people have to speak their truths and what have you. But I think sometimes you must take into account what you put out here, because it's out here forever.
Absolutely.
And so sometimes the things that we now hip hop is just lauded for, and this is all we're grooving to, can be so negative sometimes. We know what conscientious rap is because we had a Public Enemy.
We did.
We know what conscientious music is because we had the Staple Singers and people like that who said, I'll take you there and respect yourself. And people like Curtis Curtis Mayfield, who told us, to be thankful what you got, but keep it moving, because we could move on up, and then have our diamond in the back.
Right.
Now that's all old school. People might not know it, but it's the music that tells you what a world, a nation, your universe is going through, era by era, generation by generation. If we are at war, if we are in peacetime, if we are, whatever the fights and the struggles are, it's in the music. So I was lucky enough to come along when we were telling a story, and we were praising each other. And if we had a beef, we just danced it out.
I remember you. We sure did. I remember that.
I remember that.
Yep.
Very seminal records that laid the foundation. Curtis was, like I said, the king of rap and the rap producer du jour of that time. So he was producing the Fat Boys and DJ Love Starsky and AJ Scratch, and so we had songs like Fat Boys and Fat Boys Are Back. We had songs like
they can never be whack. Fat Boys Are Back.
Yeah, and we had AJ. We had DJ Love Starsky with You Gotta Believe. And we had songs like If I Rule the World, I Love All the Girls. Well, 10 years before Lauryn Hill was born, I sang that on a track produced by Curtis Blow. And of course, you heard it, that was me. And then, of course, they're playing basketball.
Oh, no, stop it. That was you.
Basketball.
I still remember the video for that.
Exactly. So I became Curtis Blow's hook girl. I met Curtis on the campus of City College where I was attending, and Russell had just left. I hadn't even met him yet. And he says, "You know what? I always see you, and you're giving out flyers, and you're doing this." He said, "But most people, when they meet me or when they come to me, they want something from me. You don't want anything from me except maybe to come see you sing, and I'm gonna do that." And what I did with Curtis was, Curtis didn't realize that he had an adult following.
Right.
So I took him to places like the Cellar on the Upper West Side, and to McHale's and the Sweetwaters. He didn't know that he was accepted very much like, when Will Smith came along, grown people loved rap because of the kind of rap he was doing.
Right.
Well, grown people were loving Curtis Blow. He just didn't know.
Yeah.
He was taking me to the Fever. I was taking him to the Cellar.
Wow.
And you know what I'm saying? And I was meeting, Africa Bambaataa and Kool Herc and all of these people. And I was taking him, and he was meeting Jerry Bledsoe and and Vaughn Harper and all the different people from radio down there, and Ashford and Simpson. And, it was just, it opened his eyes to another world that he wasn't aware that was embracing him. And he was taking me to a world that, leaving Dance Theater Harlem, going up to the Bronx to the Fever, you know what I'm saying? That's how I got my street cred. And by singing on these records that laid a foundation for whatever we know as hip hop now, I'm so happy to be able to know that I was connected. That was connective tissue. And like I said, Curtis took me with him, and there was Russell, and then Russell was putting together this label. He says it's going to be the dopest, deafest, most underground label for underground artists, and and that's what he made. He made a Def Jam. While he was making Def Jam, I went off to Capitol Records. I had an opportunity to be with a group called High Fashion, and that was myself, Melissa Morgan, and a young man out of Detroit named can't remember his first name. Last name is McClintock, and it just slipped my mind. And at any rate, we had the group High Fashion. We were on Capitol for about 2 years, maybe a year. We were the sister group to a group called the BB&Q Band, Bronx, Brooklyn, with Are You Ready or Not? It's only up the street.
Yeah.
Everybody's dancing. So they had that. And then there was a little group called Change, and they had a young singer named Luther Vandross. So we were 3 Capitol groups. It was produced by the same producer, Fred Petrus. Change, BBQ, High Fashion. Our song was feeling lucky lately. I can feel this is my time, and I think that I can make it. And it was a great radio hit. And we did that for and by the time that fizzled on out, Def Jam was ready.
Right.
And so my label mates were LL, Houdini, Public Enemy. All of these groups, we were all competing, to try to make sure that our stuff got out there. We knew we were laying down a foundation for something that was going to change history. And I was the only female, and I was the only non-rapper. We had Nikki D, who was our female rapper.
I remember Nikki D,
And then Russell decided he wanted to do an R&B version, or R&B, what's the word I'm looking for? division of Def Jam. It was called OBR, Original Black Records. And everybody, you know, at first when they looked at rap, they was like, oh, this will never last. And then it became a multi-million dollar entity. And they were like, come here, son, let me show you the ropes. So the same thing happened with R&B. Oh, please, what does he know about R&B? And then he delivered.
Right.
He delivered because he knew that he had been to the parties where he heard Gladys Knight, and he heard the Stylistics, and he heard Harold Melvin's Blue Notes.
Right.
He heard great singers, and he wanted to put that together. He wanted to Barry Gordy his way into that kind of, you know, I guess level
Lane.
of
Creating his
creating his lane.
Yeah.
So he had myself, he had Orange Juice Jones,
Yes, sir.
he had Chuck Stanley, and he had Tayshaun Rashad, and we were the R&B division of the first R&B division of Def Jam,
nice.
OBR, Original Black Records, and I did all kinds of duets and collaborations with all of my guys, and then finally was my turn, and that was 1986. I signed. 88 we started recording, and by 88 we were putting things out, and 89 the story is we would record, and just like they did with the rap songs, they would record and you would get a test press. That back then when it was analog, and they'd take that test press down to the Diplomat Hotel or wherever one of the great DJs like Hollywood or Reggie Wells was spinning, and they'd put it on.
Right.
And if the crowd went crazy, they knew they had a hit.
Right.
That's before the
This
record
is-
label even heard the song.
Right.
So we would take my song, Just Call My Name. Now, by that time I had Sleep Talk and My Love Is Raw, so it's
Right.
already out. But this was the first ballad. And we took it to Vaughn Harper up at WBLS on the Quiet Storm. And Vaughn Harper would not give the test press back to Russell. And he began to play it in his rotation every night. And the beauty of it was the irony of it was that it was at the holiday time. And for those who don't know, around Thanksgiving, they have what they call a playlist freeze, where nothing else new is getting played unless you got deep pockets.
Right.
I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying. But you know, it's time for Nat King Cole, the Jackson 5, Eartha
Right.
Kitt, and that's what's going to be played. The Christmas music, the traditional music, the classics and what have you. So for me to be playing in his rotation, you know, back then when DJs had a say-so in what they did, it made people aware of it. Now, as you know, black people buy music for Christmas. So people will go into the store saying, do y'all have a song? It goes, Just Call My... And they were like, we don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
You know, now, mind you, there was record stores back then where you actually went and bought
Yes.
records. Not
Yes.
Target and not Walmart that happened to
Yeah.
sell records, but
Yep.
actual stores dedicated to music and records and all things of that nature. Not to mention you can get your number book where you can play your numbers.
Right, yeah.
The black light
The black book.
posters.
Yeah, the
You can
black
get your black
book,
light
yeah.
posters. You can get your flyers for the next the concerts coming up. You can get a playlist of what's being played on the radio. You can get your incense
Right.
and Big Bamboo if you should need it. So I'm just saying, you know, what any of these things are, I just want you to go on by.
Look it up in Google.
Look it up
love it.
in Google.
I love it.
But
yeah.
but you know, this is where we come from. So, you know, it was just amazing to see that record when it finally was released. That was Christmas time '89. By '90 was when we really released Just Call My Name, and people had already been all over it.
Right.
And it caused a chain reaction in the way we were able to promote the song, because there were certain places where I should have been already, but they had already put out a new single because
Right.
the record label was moving like this. Then we had a big influx of Alyson Willams being extremely popular overseas. So I had to go overseas, and I went for one event and ended up living there for 6 months because it just made sense to keep me there
Right.
and do Germany, France, Spain, Amsterdam.
If you think that I'm being sassy, you'll find out that my love is demanding. All I need is you to give me all of your heart. Oh, yeah. This love you'll find like vintage wine, even better than the girl next door. If you
by the time I got back to the States, I had to revamp. I had to do everything.
Yeah.
I had to go back to Soul Train. I had to go back to
Right.
the Apollo. I had to go back,
Yeah.
you know, with 2 singles, you know, because we had to do Just Call My Name
Right.
because it had its own situation going,
Right.
and it was already ensconced in the hearts and minds of the listeners. So you know, Def Jam has been a wonderful. If it had not been for Def Jam, and you know, like I said, a jazz singer signed to a rap label, given an R&B contract, it makes me the Forrest Gump of what I do.
Right.
You know what I'm
love
saying? Because
it.
I've walked every place and every space that I would have never had an opportunity to had I not had that. And so that's how that came to be. I went and did my rap situation, and then, you know, did some club music with the high fashion thing, and we did that. Then I got, you know, the Def Jam contract was finally ready, and I had been polishing up the old act the whole time. And so now we're here, and,
So-
you know, and 37 years later.
Hold on for a second.
love it.
Listen, this is, I'm a hip hop fan. Fortunate enough to grow up in it. This is hip hop history. You need to go look at this stuff. Yo, that is an amazing story. I got one question for you though. Your signature hat style. Yes. Tell me about that.
My signature hat style came from, because I had already been, like I said, coming from a jazz background and the dance and the theater and the whole bit. So I was doing nightclubs like Sweetwater's and McHale's when Russell met me. So he's trying to figure out a way, how do I package her? Because she's mature, although she's still a young woman. But at the same time, this is a hip hop label. This is a rap label. How do we make this? How do we make her street enough, but still let her represent something that is of excellence? And so I remembered looking in the photo albums. We used to have albums and photos, not on, photo albums in books, not just in our phones. We actually had a book. And I would look at the pictures of my mother and my father and my aunts, my uncles, and when they would get dressed up to go somewhere. Well, first of all, they dressed all the time.
Right,
You know, women wore matching shoes and handbags and gloves and hats, and men wore overcoats and jackets and hats, and that was their regular wardrobe. That's how they, from that era. But when I looked at them, I said, I want something that can be well put together, but doesn't look too stiff. And I also wanted something that was going to be Afrocentric, because I had been ensconced in you know, my culture, you know what I'm saying, through dance and all that. You know, I knew that, you know, I knew about you know, African attire and geles and all kinds of things like that, kente cloth and what, not only that those things were materials, but they represented something, you know, the patterns spoke into it, that sometimes as currency, do you know what I'm saying, cowrie shells and things of our history. So I wanted to incorporate that. So the crowns came, you know, from me knowing that and wanting to, you know, we just wrapped it around, how can we be street and posh
and representing.
black
Right.
and cultural, and that's how it all came together. You know, my mother, when she was a young woman, was a model and a hand model, a hand model and a hat model, because that's what black sisters used to do to make extra money back in the day. So it was nothing for me, you know, to wear hats. You know, hats were always something that, you know, that were part of the little ensemble that your mother would dress you in or whatever. She was a hat woman, and so hats became my thing. Even if you ask Dana, if you ask Queen Latifah today, she'll say, I took a cue from Alyson Willams when it came to the hats, because I saw that and it resonated with her. So I know if it resonated with her, it resonated with others in terms of it being a sign of, it was like royalty. And nobody else was doing it quite like that. So that's how the hat situation came together. It was already a part of what had been handed down from my parents and their friends and the people of my village, you know, my community, that they always just looked well put together, and that's what that was.
Love
That's what I wanted it to be.
So, and it was only about 3 of you. You know, Queen Latifah got it from you, but it was you, Queen Latifah, Phyllis Hyman.
Phyllis Hyman.
Phyllis
That's
Hyman,
it.
yep.
No one else.
Another sister, friend, mentor.
Yes.
No one else was embracing that, and it was so beautiful to see. And it was something that you said, okay, I can be that, and I can incorporate that. And I don't want to come away from hip hop, because you definitely were in the hip hop realm, but at what point did you realize that your voice was a signature sound and you revisited and kind of incorporated everything that you had kind of learned over the years and then came back to your own sound?
I want action. I'm a lady on the move. I need action. I've got no time to lose. Fat boys. Fat boys are back, and you know they can never be right. The fat boys are back. Do you like the fat boys? You gotta believe. You gotta believe. I rule the world. I love all the girls. Wear diamonds and pearls. If I rule the world, they're playing basketball. We love that basketball. They're playing basketball. We love that basketball.
It takes a minute for me to say this is a little bit of perfection, or this is I'm really satisfied with this. I remember when we first recorded Def Jam recorded Just Call My Name accidentally, because I wouldn't found that song, and accidentally, that's a whole other story for when I come back. But the engineer's assistant accidentally erased the first verse. So we had to go back in and record it. I've sung the song 3 times. The day I discovered it in the studio, and then when I had to put the first verse back on. And they were like, listen, you're gonna sing the song one time, this one verse, and because I'm a perfectionist, so I'm constantly, I don't know if that's good enough, I don't know if it's good enough. So to answer your question, I have just recently discovered that I think I have a signature. I think that I've allowed other people to tell me what they feel my voice is, but it wasn't until I started hearing so many singers that sing exactly alike that I realized that my voice has something and does something that's different. Because the generation of singers that is now presenting itself, everybody kind of sounds the same. You know, you don't have the diversity of a Gladys Knight into a Shaka Khan, into a Patti LaBelle, into a Valerie Simpson, into a they sound alike.
Right.
And I'm not taking anything away from the artists of today. I'm just saying they followed a pattern, and that pattern has led them to kind of sound a little cookie cutter-ish from time to time. Now you do have other people like a Lettucey. I love a good Layla Hathaway, my little sisters,
I love Layla.
that I embrace, and they embrace me as an auntie, you know, a big sister type. You know what I'm saying? And every once in a while you find a voice that is, you know, what is Audra Day has a very different voice. Chrisette Michelle, Samara Joy. You know, reaching back, and she has this incredible way of. I know she can sing like anybody she wants to in terms of, you know, the gospel and R&B facility, but she knows how to intertwine it with the jazz and with the traditional jazz in such a way that that's what makes her absolutely incredible. But I do know that there is not a voice out there that emulates or that is an Alyson Williams voice, and it took me this many years to get to that, and to, you know, embrace it and respect it.
So I might have one more question. I'm done, because I've been good on this interview, y'all. Y'all just don't even know. Listen, first of all, before I ask this question, Curtis Blow, shout out to you, because these are the breaks stand true to this day for sure. I know what you're talking about now, man. Woosah. So my question to you, one of my favorite songs of all time, how did I Need Your Lovin' come about? Oh my God.
I Need Your Love.
You hear about it by yourself.
Give me a second.
Should we leave?
When I was a kid, there was a cartoon, and Dick Dastardly. He was a criminal. He was a villain, and he had a dog named Smedley. And you give Smedley a treat, and Smedley would go,
I'm on
and
it
then
today.
float up in the air and come back down, and then come back down and go.
I'm on my Smedley today.
He's on
I'm on my
Smedley.
Smedley today. I'm on my
I want
Smedley
y'all to
right
go and
now.
look up all this stuff, and you're just gonna go, good gravy, what's going on? At any rate, now I want to say that producer, I think that was Vinnie Bell. I want to say, I appreciate you because you went back to a song that a lot of people may not remember as quickly as they remember Just Call My Name. However, if they are an Alyson Willams fan, they know Sleep Talk, they know My Love Is Raw, they know I Need Your Love. And so I believe it was Vinnie Bell was the producer on that. I cannot call the name of the writer right now because I don't get to recall those names as often. But we went in and did the song, and then, as you know, from generation to generation or era to era, you have different producers. So at one point it was M2May was doing everybody, and then there was M2May and Reggie Lucas, and then it was what you call it, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis followed them, and then there was Babyface, and so people were. That's when you started seeing the producers getting as much fame as the artists, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people might not have known M2May Lucas or Kashif and Paul
Kashif,
Lawrence. They were doing all the music we were listening to. They were doing it, and as a matter of fact, when I came out of the high fashion situation, that's when I started getting my feet wet in commercial music, and singing behind people like Melba Moore and Evelyn King. I'm on Love Come Down. I'm on You Want It, Take My Love by Melba. I'm in Love by Evelyn King. So working with these producers. So by the time we did my album and I Need Your Lovin' was out, one of the production crews was the group Soul to Soul, who not only were producing people, but they had their own brand and their own group. And Whenever Do You Want It, they were doing their thing. So they remixed I Need Your Lovin'. And as a result of their remix version, the record had already hit the top 10 and top 5 on Billboard's R&B, but it then stayed on the Billboard Top 100 for 67 weeks. Now that makes me excited because there's only 52 weeks in a year. So if you stay on the charts for over a year, you've done some good work. You've established yourself in a major way. I'm gold certified for the Raw album, US and UK, as a result of a lot of hard work. I've now acquired an Emmy. And
took that right out of my mouth because I was bringing that up next.
So I Need Your Lovin' was one of the things that it set me on a steady course to continue to rise. And even though people remember Just Call My Name even more than I Need Your Lovin', but it still stands. When I go to Europe, which I just came back from Amsterdam, and shout out to the producers that brought me over to celebrate this big club called the Metropole. And it was like Studio 54 over there. Everybody played there, everybody wanted to go there, and I used to do quite often back in the day when the songs were fresh on the charts.
Gorgeous, what are you doing now? And what's upcoming? What do you have going on?
Oh gosh, we've got a lot of really great things in the future. We got new music coming, some new R&B. Finishing up a jazz project called Summer Nights in Harlem, which got kind of squashed during COVID, and just because of everything from finance to my own personal health issues. I just want to speak into two things, if I could, that I'd like to. They're just important because I think people always see you as the artist and you're in show business and it's shiny and it's whatever. But we're people too. I live with diabetes. I'll say type 2 because it's a whole nother name for what I have, but I just want to encourage all of my people out there who deal with it and know that anything that can be managed can be eradicated, and I'm a believer in it, regardless of what the science says, especially for black people. I work with a group called Diva-betics, and the reason the diva is in it is because it makes it shiny and beautiful and fabulous, because my take on it is that you cannot let diabetics take control of you. You have to be in control of your diabetes, and don't let it lessen your shine because of what it is and how it can do you, and it's serious. So a dear friend, Luther Vandross, he had an episode that left him, on the floor a little bit too long, which led to several strokes and so on and so forth. But diabetes was at the root of his what took him away from us. So when I think about that voice, that light being silenced, and only took years later they diagnosed me, I was like, oh, I've got to be an advocate for this, not just live with it and deal with it. During COVID, I got through the whole it seemed like a year or two that we did this thing, and just as we coming to the end, my COVID and my diabetes began to not play well together, and there's something called ketoacidosis, and it sent me to the hospital, and they said we can get her through the COVID because she's had the inoculation, but the ketoacidosis will take her, and they began to work on me, and I went into a coma for 6 days, and I came out on January 1st, 2022. They did not know if it was going to happen. They were calling for my family. They were like, we need to find who our people are because we can't bring her out when she's not rallying. And Valerie Simpson, my angel on earth, called, was able to get in touch with my sister friend Lydia Stuckey, and she was I was living in North Carolina by this time, and they called the ICU, the COVID ICU, and Valerie said, play her music in her ear. She'll come back. And the nurse, the first day, she didn't get to download it because she was too busy being a first responder, going on, taking off her clothes, hanging on outside, and kissing her kids goodnight and coming back to the hospital. And everybody was like, did you download the song? Did you download the song? Well, no, I didn't get a chance to do it because my phone went dead and da-da-da-da. The next day, she had the song and she brought it to the bed. And she said, Miss Williams, can you hear this? Do you know who this voice is? Do you know who's singing these words? Now, I realized that I opened my eyes. And I said to her in my brain, and if anybody has ever heard that you can hear people when you're in a coma, and it's true. I knew everything that was going on around me the whole time. I just could not articulate. I couldn't speak. And I couldn't let them know that I could hear them because I couldn't speak. I said, of course I know who that is. That's me. Do you know who it is? And if you called anyone and let them know I'm in here, I got to get home. And I was pointing to myself. But I know that I was laying there and I just went like that. I know that for a fact, and I came back to life, and I spent 4 months in recovery, and then I went out with my dear friend Najee, who has helped me to get back on my path to my jazz roots. He, Christian McBride, and Nat Adderley Jr., and all these people that that helped me in my recovery. So my miracle, my testimony is to just be thankful for your health and anything that you're dealing with. Be proactive with it. But I digressed to tell you about the new music.
We love that. We love that because so many of us don't know. And we're ashamed because we don't want other people to see that as our weakness, but really it's empowerment to stand
because
in
there's
it.
somebody else who's going through the same thing.
Exactly.
And your testimony helps people.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Absolutely.
And so, like I said, there's new music. We're finishing the jazz album, Summer Nights in Harlem. We've got 2 of the songs done already, and then things that I did with Najee will be on that as well. This will be the new year, so when Valentine's Day comes, go find Najee's Savoir Faire album, which was his last album, and find Valentine Love, which we covered, and then the new R&B music is coming as well. I've got some wonderful stuff as a producer out of Atlanta, and I've not met him yet, so his name is not in my head right now, but it's fire. Alyson Willams R&B is coming back with fire, and I'm also doing another project called Verses, not Verses US, but Verses, like singing verses, because I wanted to do an album dedicated to the Great American Songbook, where a lot of the older songs from years and years back, they were written with pre-verses that get lost. They were written for movies and for movie soundtracks and for Broadway plays, and we don't know that At Last has a great verse. We don't know that My Funny Valentine has a beautiful verse. We just know the songs. So I want to do an album of songs, or a CD or an EP of songs that has the verses, so you can hear the original formats of that music, because that's what I was raised on. I have about 4 gospel songs that are going to be released. I have about 4 or 5 house tracks that are going to be released.
Okay, all
so
right.
we got music.
It's coming.
We got
coming,
music.
for sure.
It's just getting it out there. And one of the things that's going to help me to do that is my company, my own personal production company, is called AWP, A Woman's Prerogative.
Mm-hmm.
And because it is. And I coupled with about 3 or 4 other companies, Staccato Management, which is my management company, and Dahlia Mignette, and Let's Boogie, Fresh, Allison, if you could just remember things, Doc Scott, Scotland Movies, Films, and we put together a company called Unity One Entertainment, and we just solidified our first music festival. We're going to produce music festivals, celebrity golf tournaments, cruises, and plays, and other, concerts and cabaret type
Nice.
shows and what have
Okay.
you. And our first mission will be for next November in 2026 in Gulfport, Mississippi. It is the Ambiance Music and Film Festival and Celebrity Golf Tournament. So I'm working as a producer and an A&R director, as well as an MC and a singer and all these different things, and a liaison to the artist. And so it feels good to be able to do the behind the scenes things again, because that's where I started. Before I could ever get on the stage and sing a note, I was in the wardrobe department, the props department. I was learning how to hang lights. I was learning how to use a circular saw. I was in, all of these different things I had to do before they let me step on stage.
But that's what makes you better, because you know now your vision,
I know what
and
it
you know what it takes.
and nobody can tell me no.
No.
Right.
No one can say, "Oh well, no, we can't do that." Yes, you can. You want me to show you how to build it?
Because I've
Give
done
me some
it.
pipe and leg. I've done it. I know how to do
What was the name of the organization again? Women, it's my prerogative. Women,
it. AWP.
there you go. AWP right here.
And Unity One, so everyone should keep their eyes out, for what we're doing, and we are for us, by us, about us, and trying to do it at the highest level of excellence that we can. Coming as a daughter, a mentee of the great Dr. Maya Angelou, who taught us, have the courage to do it and do it differently, but always do the right thing.
Right.
Because right from wrong, just do right. So we want to do right.
Right.
We want to do right, and those things that she instilled in me allows me to keep going and waking up every day in this crazy world, in a crazy industry, but still knowing that it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
Doing right.
It's going to be good.
So,
Absolutely.
with all of that said, because I
All
know
of this stuff.
I do not
I'm
want to let
tired
this woman
already.
go. I don't want to let her go. I can keep her all day.
Well, I promise to come back.
Please do.
I promise
How
to come
can
back.
anyone who needs to reach you be able to reach you?
Yes.
You can find me on Facebook at Alyson Willams Music. My name is spelled Alyson Williams Music on Facebook. Alyson Williams Music on Instagram, and Alyson Williams on Twitter, or as they call it now, X.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah. That,
Okay.
that,
Y'all better
yeah.
do the Instagram, but find me at Facebook. And if you need my number, then no, I'm just joking.
And look, his ears went like, what?
Yeah, listen, right? What'd you say?
No, it has been such a pleasure, but
Yeah.
I would be remiss if I ended this right here. So what I'm going to tell you guys is to sit right there, because we are going to have another amazing song from Alyson Willams. But what I need you to do is to make sure you like, subscribe, and share before I give you this gift. See, I need you to do that first before I give you the gift. See how that works?
Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Wiz Entertainment, Casual Corp, to beautiful Kelly Allen. Yeah, she does what she does. And obviously,
And listen, I got to give a
Alyson
shout
Willams.
out. Listen, because we all collaborate. I've been
Yes.
doing some wonderful collaborations that affect me on so many levels, but especially in my live shows. When you go to see people, there's all kinds of LED screens and things like that. And I had to come and up my stuff, tell my story through pictures and visuals and so on and so forth. And I could not have done it without Denver. Right, and the Wiz. So, we
Wiz
know
production,
he's
yeah.
behind the scenes in here
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, he over there, yeah, he over there.
Wherever you at. Thank you so much for inviting me, for letting me know about this incredible platform with Smoke and Ice, and for having me as your guest.
Thank you.
And I know for the new year we're all going to do incredibly, amazingly
I receive
fabulous
it.
things.
I receive it and I give it back to you because I'm coming. Wherever you are, I'm coming.
Everybody, just like I said, if they look at Facebook, if they look at Instagram, I usually, when I get a booking of shows, I put up a card and let people, a flyer, and tells you the upcoming dates. So just keep on keeping one.
All right, so stay right there because we have something special for you. But until then, I'm Kelly Allen.
Hey, I am a happy as hell Wayne McCullers.
And I'm Alyson Williams.
And this is Smoke and Ice Podcast. Coming up next is something you don't want to miss.
Yeah, sure. Let's spark something real while we at it, y'all.
Let's spark something real.
Yeah, let's spark something real.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are, as in olden days, those old golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, they travel near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together if the fates allow. Come on and hang a shining star above the highest bough. Oh, and have yourself a merry little Christmas. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Come on and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. La 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 la. Merry Christmas.
Smoke and ice, twice as nice. I'm your vice. Smoke and ice.
We hope you've enjoyed Smoke and Ice with Kelly and Wayne. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe. Tell a friend so they too can be informed and entertained. For more information about the show, go to smokeandice.net.